Joining us now to discuss this latest wave of defection from the PDP to the APC is Chief D0ubt, former chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Anambra State. Good morning, Chief D0ubt, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Well, there's an earthquake going on in the PDP here, and then there is a mass exodus from the opposition parties, not just the PDP, into the APC. The whole of Delta State is gone. PDP into APC, led by former presidential running mate of the PDP, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, and the governor. In Osun State, Honorable Wole Oye has also moved from the PDP to the APC. In Kano State, Senator Sumaila Kawu has led a group of NMPP politicians into the APC. And there's this concern about one-party state and all of that, where Senator Saraki says, oh, this is an opportunity for the PDP to reinvent itself, to rebuild. Does the PDP have the capacity to rebuild itself, to learn from this? Is it an opportunity or really an earthquake?
If I have to start, I want to declare that there is something called in Nigeria Human Rights Commission, which entitles everybody, anybody, to want to belong, refuse to belong, change where you are, have new aspirations. So if anybody leaves PDP to APC and vice versa, that is their human right so to do. But what is important, therefore, is the characterization of the behavior pattern. In this country, we have leaders who just emerge. You never heard he was a councillor or a chairman of a local government or a member of House of Assembly. Suddenly somebody moves and becomes a governor. It's only in this country somebody suddenly moves and becomes a president. So what kind of characterization do you attach to their behavior pattern thereafter? So nothing should surprise you that let us use the example of Delta State, where a party had been in government for 26 years, from Ibori 8 years to Kowa 8 years, and then the present governor, I think he's in his second term, and suddenly decides to move to APC. What is the reference point? Because if you're moving from A to B, there has to be something more exciting, something reference you can make that B is doing better than A or vice versa. So in each of these movements, you don't see any convincing argument from the so-called PDP members who are moving. I don't want to suppose that it is, some kind of massaging, or maybe they have done something funny and a couple of files have been shown them of the way they ran the affairs of the state. And like the former APC chairman, Adams Oshemolo, said, come over to our party and you are as free as air. So it also shows that APC is an absorbent for illegality, absorbent for corruption, absorbent for those who have no idea of what politics is all about, because it is service to the people. And I'm not convinced. I saw one day where these people were discussing with their various constituencies, telling them why PDP had failed and why they are moving. That will be my comment for now.
What do you think is the future of the PDP and opposition politics in Nigeria, within the context of the claim that we are heading towards a one-party state, and the chairman the chairman of the APC saying, look, 2027 is a done deal. APC will win. President Tinubu has won.
Well, if I can put you back some 20 years ago, a former chairman of PDP, now late, Vincent Obolafo, also said PDP will run Nigeria for 60 years. It is now for you to know whether we ran Nigeria for 60 years. The pronouncements people make out of the comfort of their bedroom or comfort of their offices, they have right so to do. But I can tell you that Ahmed Tinubu is an embodiment of reasonable doubt. And I mean what I said in every aspect of it. It's a summary of an embodiment of reasonable doubt. For a president, as killings were going on in Makurdi and Plateau, my president was in Paris for 7 days, only God knows doing what. That wasn't enough. From there, he went to London. So you start to ask yourself, what is the reference point of human beings who leave either the PDP or Labour Party or whatever to go over to APC? There has to be some performance value, some performance reference, some honor, some integrity you have to make reference. That is why you're moving. And in all these interviews and movements, I didn't see any convincing argument why they did what they did. So it must be reasons other than what the ordinary people see. And you know what the problem is in this country. I give Bola Tinubu one credit. He's a master politician, he's a strategist. I had always said this from the time he was governor of Lagos State. Under Obasanjo, there was nothing the PDP didn't do to remove him. With other governors, they succeeded in 5 states, and he stood his ground and was never removed. And he remained there until he finished 8 years, and from that point, he became president of Nigeria. So it's not somebody I take for granted in any aspect of human discussion. I don't take him for granted. He's a strategist, but PDP should be thinking a lot more about their future. It's not just a matter of, any time there is 4 years coming around, people want to be governor, they want to be this. They rush to buy forms. Nobody thinks of how the party is built, because if you don't build a fundamental party from, let me say, from the state to local government to wards, then there's no way you're going to energize and mobilize the people to vote for you. This interest of only in election shows you the dishonesty of what some members of the PDP, and not only PDP, even in APC, are doing. So we have to have a change. I believe that the present leadership has to set up a very high-powered committee to look at, there are shortcomings. Nobody will tell you there are no shortcomings in PDP. If there are no shortcomings, people will not be moving, either rightly or wrongly. But we have to address such shortcomings, if any, and then look forward to the future.
Okay. Now, there's some PDP stalwarts who've been speaking and commenting on this issue over the past 24 hours. And some are putting forward the idea that the only way for PDP to make a breakthrough come 2027 is to begin to woo Peter Obi back into the fold and move in allegiance or alliance with him. What's your take on this?
Peter Obi is a factor of progress. He's a success himself. I mean, in the last presidential election, he had over 6 million votes. So if there are no over-ambitious, inordinately ambitious people in PDP who don't want to be overshadowed, who don't want their positions to be diluted, yes, Peter Obi is somebody the party should openly approach, because we're talking about leadership for better government of Nigeria, not better person for Nigeria, not better party for Nigeria. There are individuals who have the characteristics of performance, who have integrity, who have honor, and Peter Obi is one of the very few in this country who has such qualities. So if the party does decide to approach him and solicit my advice, I have enough contact and relationship with Peter Obi that I will convince him about the future, why it is necessary for all of us to come together to be able to stop the menace that is going on in Abuja presently.
Well, Chief, I get your point that you were making about the fact that, look, persons have fundamental rights. Section 40 allows you to join whatever association you want to join. But Senator Saraki raised a moral point. He said that, look, it looks terrible that a man like Senator Okowa, who was running mate on the presidential ticket of the PDP in 2023, will abandon the party. Acting National Chairman, Senator Damagum, says that, look, I mean, the party has done a lot to support the PDP in Delta State. That why would the Delta PDP behave like this? What do you think of those two submissions? Do you think that there's a moral issue here?
You know, I still summarize it with my first. Yeah, there is a moral issue. It's not a constitutional issue. Morality is neither here nor there. I won't do that. Dr. Abati, I know, may not do that if you are seriously involved in politics. But, you know, the character of human beings, you know, it's only in this country that 1 + 1 is not 2. It can give you 5, it can give you 10. People you presuppose will behave in a particular way, do something differently, and you'll be shocked. That's what we are discussing now. It's difficult for me. Former Governor Kowa is, you know, sufficiently close to me. He's present governor. I don't know him. I never met him. But for Kowa to be part of that process, all through yesterday, I tried to reach him, and his phone was switched off. So I wanted to really know what is the problem. There could be things I don't know about that he will explain to me. I'll still make effort to reach him. But like I said, every individual in this country has the constitutional right to do what you want to do. You know, it is for people to assess you, know whether you have integrity, whether you have honor. It is not, it's not a one-man decision, because time is coming, you know, in the next 1 or 2 years, things will start happening again. And people will be prepared to ask you questions about the decision processes you have made recently or, you know, in the past, that will make people entrust you with new responsibilities. Because for you to be in a party that made you governor for 8 years and you suddenly move without making any serious comment about, you know, whatever the dysfunctionalities or whatever that has made it impossible for you to want to remain in that party, that you want to seek for El Dorado elsewhere. And where are you seeking for the El Dorado? There is no reference in APC in this country. Absolutely no reference. So, but I still concede to them their right to do whatever they want to do. This is not the time for us to start making comment on that move. I'll be very, very involved when the time comes to discuss the fate of PDP, reference what they did for Obasanjo's time. I don't think you can make a comparative analysis of 8 years of Obasanjo from the military, and we stabilize this country, and what Jonathan did to the best of his ability. You know, look at what Jonathan did and what Muhammadu Buhari did, which I normally say it was 8 years of a national disaster. You wouldn't know whether there was a government in Nigeria or not. So I don't know what the you know, interest is in these people moving to APC, but I concede to them their right so to do.
Okay, sure. Now, I believe it was Ambassador Damagun who made the statement that we are aware that there are several more governors who will be defecting as well. And he said, well, those who are not with us should leave. They are free to go. Do you think this is the right position, or do you think PDP should be engaging these governors to find a way to find common ground to see how they can stay in the fold? What's the best way to navigate this? Because they're still sitting governors. They bring value to the party. Are you going to just advise that they just be allowed to go just like that?
Well, I have just said that I'm part of the process of wanting to reach most of these governors to know what their problems are. But that does not also stop them from taking action, because they have, you know, the human rights so to do. But if somebody puts you in a position of authority for 8 years, 4 years, 8 years, and the thank you give back to him is just to abandon ship, it doesn't show so much about integrity and honor on your part. The party is setting up, you know, a committee to look into that, and it's not what we can make public at this moment. So it's unfortunate. That's not the only place. If you remember some 20 years ago or 25 years ago, there was a time there was a stampede, as it were, out of late Vincent Obulafo left, Gemade left, a couple of other people left, you know, so, but it didn't kill the party. It will help us to reorganize, you know, restabilize, and bring in new people, because it creates doubt now in the minds of majority members of the party about the honor and integrity ascribed to these people who are presently or hitherto were leaders of the party. If somebody can just wake up a whole state, from National Assembly to State Assembly to governor to former governor, and leave.
Well, we lost audio connection with you, Chief. If you may just complete your thoughts. But I would also like you to comment on coalition politics. This effort being led by the presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2023 elections, you know, about coalition, opposition politics, this attempt to form some kind of powerful force against President Tinubu and the APC. Although PDP governors have met, and you know they seem to not be very enthusiastic about that idea. Maybe perhaps because you know almost all of them are planning to follow the Oburewuri example and end up in the APC.
I must admit that it's unfortunate what is going on, but it would be shameful on their part, very shameful, if most PDP governors, for reasons best known to them, leave the party and join APC. And like I said earlier, before the network went off, if you are moving from point A to B, B must be better than A or A better than B. I want to see them in a press conference telling me, after 8 years of being a governor, what are the achievements you made in your state? Is it because some money has changed hands? You know, you remember, there are some top people now. One of them is either Speaker of the House or President of Senate, was minority leader of PDP in the Senate. Minority leader, and every day was shouting, and after he went to London, met then president, and he came back and left PDP and went over to APC. And today he's president of Senate. What kind of reference do you want me to make about such people on their character and quality of reasoning and their integrity? This is why this country is not moving. This is why nothing is functioning, because you don't know whom to trust and whom not to trust. This is why promises are made. We will give water, we will build this, we will do that, and nobody does anything, because they know the citizenry are not going to ask any questions. I think it's now coming to a point where the press must lead this battle, because this nonsensicality, we cannot allow it to continue. You just don't wake up because you have human rights and do what you like. Because promises were made to people when you were campaigning. This is what I will do on this platform. This is what I will do on this platform. You didn't tell them that halfway you will move from PDP to APC or APC to PDP or Labour to any. The people have a right to know why you're moving and the reasons following therefore. But like I concede again, they have a right. The Nigerian Human Rights Commission said you have a right to do such thing, but certainly not to impede the human rights of other people.
Well, thank you very much, Ulasi. You brought in journalists. Well, the media, we can only do so much. The people we talk to, do they even listen to us? Or do many of them even have the capacity to understand some of the things we say? But thank you very much.